You're back, and I'm so excited to have you for episode 2 of season 2 of the Passion and Persistence podcast. I'm your host, Elaina Mitchell, and tonight or today, depending on what time you're listening, the episode is off the charts awesome with so much knowledge from Christine Curran. So just to explain a little bit of what the Passion and Persistence podcast is all about, we obviously believe that with passion and persistence, anything is possible. So we tell stories, give tips and inspiration to remind you that you can get to where you deserve to be with passion and persistence, right? So season 2, episode 1 was all about doing that inner work. We wanted to start from the very beginning. So we spoke with Dr. Aaron Haskell about doing that inner spiritual work. Now, we're going to be talking with Christine Curran about using her experiences that she's already gone through to help her put the pieces together to puzzles that she was facing in her new ventures. So, super exciting, so much inspiration and knowledge, and I cannot wait for you to listen or watch in. So, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, tell your friends and family about it, leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or go ahead and drop us a review on any of our podcast platforms. We appreciate it more than you know. Without further ado, let's go. Everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Passion and Persistence podcast. I'm your host, Elaina Mitchell, and today we have an extremely special guest, Christine Curran. I have witnessed Christine's growth and persistence and passion for so many years, and it's such an honor to have her on this episode today. So I want to tell you a little bit about Christine. She's made a huge name for herself as a powerful entertainer and entrepreneur over the past 10 years. Christine's company, Liquordale Entertainment, is the parent company to her current project, DIVAS TV, which is on the CW. Dining Divas is a lifestyle show that features the hottest places to dine and drink in South Florida, which ties in perfectly to what I do because I am a hospitality branding specialist. So to see her present the lifestyle of the hospitality industry is really cool. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Christine Curran.
Hi.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm so excited to have you here today. So, Christine, tell me a little bit about what passion is to you.
I mean, passion is definitely never giving up on your dream. There's a lot of obstacles that come your way with anything that you're trying to do that's outside the norm, outside the box. And, you just have to stay positive and passionate about it and not let the noise or the people that are being negative about what you're trying to accomplish get in your way.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%. And our vision is so personal to us. We all have dreams and goals and not everyone's going to understand it. So being able to drown out that noise, like you said, so important. So tell me a little bit about your journey to get to this point with Dining Divas TV. I know it must have been so much work on the back end. Tell me a little more about that.
Oh man, a lot of tears cried over the show. Let me tell you. The first year, it was hard because there's 2 ways to get on TV. You can make a sizzle reel and you can try to present it to a network and hope that they're going to fund you, which pretty much never happens anymore. That's gone. And that's like the old days of TV. And now it's like, you have to literally create your own content, get it funded yourself, get it on, and then you can get it on TV through a barter syndication, and then hope that maybe once you've built up enough of a following, enough good content that somebody picks you up, like a network or a bigger TV station.
Very cool. So you presented this to the CW after you had all your content rolling?
Well, no, the CW is the smaller syndication that I'm doing that, I have to come up with my own budgets. I got to get my own funding. So they're the smaller one that I'm on. It's a local CW. We get like 500,000 viewers, but it's a smaller network. So it's not like making me big bucks, but the idea is to, now that I've been on TV with them for a year, we're pitching to major networks now, 8 episodes in and, looking for international distributions as well. So it's an exciting, very stressful time, but at least I'm at this point now because the first year and a half doing it was like, there was so many times I just wanted to quit,
Yeah. And it's so cool to be able to look back and give yourself a pat on the back for where you came from and every little step you've placed in front of you to keep
moving forward. And what you said was really interesting about how it's not making you big bucks right now. And I think a lot of passionate people need to hear that, because when you're passionate about something, money is not going to be the motive all the time, but you're still going to pursue it because it's something you're passionate about. It's your dream. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs today are chasing the dollar bill when it doesn't happen overnight.
No, and the money will come, once you get to a certain level, the money will start to come easier. I mean, it's coming easier now than it was before, and it's just going to keep getting like that as I continue to put out the best content possible, produce the best, segments possible, and just keep, great guests coming on the show and making it fun and entertaining, and things will just keep getting easier, as it goes along.
For sure. So what things along the way, if you can think back to maybe one major thing that kind of made you want to throw in the towel, what would that be?
Oh my gosh, one? I mean, well, when I first started, people told me that I couldn't do it. Like everybody was telling me I couldn't do it. Now I've been on TV for many years, doing celebrity interviews, and I had a lot of contacts, and I'm like, I can't imagine that I can't get the budgets to do this, because I'm not asking for anything that's out of the norm of what I'm going to give them in return. If anything, I'm giving them a ton. But it was really hard. In the beginning, I think I worked for like 4 months before I got my first deal. And I was like asking like $1,500. I'm like, it's nothing. Like, that's not even enough. That was like just enough to cover the cost. And like, I didn't make any money on that.
Right.
And I couldn't seem to get a deal done. So finally I came up with this idea to get the liquor sponsors to pay for the restaurant, get the restaurant to carry the liquor brands. So pretty much I did exactly what I did before when I made all my money in my 20s with my Jell-O shot girls. I did the same exact thing. At the liquor, like with the Jell-O shots, we would sell the shots. We wouldn't pay, the club wouldn't pay us to have dancers. We would keep the money from the shots in between our dance sets. And we would make 3 times the amount of money that the nightclub would pay us. But they didn't care because they didn't have to pay. So if we had a bad night, no big deal. So I took that concept that already made me money in my past and said, how can I use that in this idea? And that's how we kind of started getting the deals, was through liquor sponsors. So now I partner liquor sponsors with restaurants, and we do a 6-month contract. They have to put a cocktail on the menu, which is very hard to get a cocktail on the menu. I mean, it's all the big players are on the menu. So if a small brand can come in and get a cocktail on a menu for 6 months, that right there is worth paying the couple $1,000s that we charge. So it was a long, trying time to get to where I figured out how to do it, but I was determined that I was going to get this done and I'm going to figure it out. And so I finally did.
Yeah, that persistence is key. And I tell people all the time to look back to every experience you've already been through. It's leading you to where you're meant to be. So the fact that you already have all that experience putting these pieces together, now it's just about completing the picture with those pieces that you had, which is really, really cool to witness. And I think that a lot of people listening to this or watching in the future need to remember that. If you're confused or stuck at a certain point, if you're not sure what the answer is, look back to what you've already experienced, and you probably have the answer there.
Yeah.
You just have to rework it a little bit. So tell me a little bit more about your background. Before you started all of this, what were you like as a kid? What brought you to this point in life where you're so hungry to be who you are today?
Like what I was like as a kid?
Yeah, growing up.
I skipped a grade when I was in elementary school. I got like crazy, stupid, good test scores, and I was at a private school, so they pushed me ahead. And so when I ended up in public school, I was already younger than most people in the grade I was supposed to be in. So now I'm like a year and a half younger. So it was definitely a very I was a really nerdy, quiet kid who just didn't know what was going on. I just went to this huge middle school, after being in a classroom with 4 people my entire first 5, 6 grades of my life. And that was pretty overwhelming. And so I had to learn really quick how to deal with situations and people. And I didn't know what bullying was or any of these things that I had to encounter out of nowhere. And so one day I just kind of got fed up with it and was I'm going to stick up for myself. And, I just didn't like the way people were treating me in middle school. And I did. And I realized I had a lot of power when I would just look somebody in the face and just be and if I was louder and a little bit more aggressive, that they would back down. And so that's probably why I'm so loud and so aggressive. I don't know. So going into high school, I was 13 in high school and I graduated at 16. So most people are graduating at 18, some of them at 19, So I was in college at 16, so it was that was just another really trying time because I was always the younger one. So I was in everything. I ended up being band captain. I was soccer captain. I was in the business society. I did everything in high school. I was so involved in everything. I just wanted to be part of everything and be around as many different people, so I didn't get stuck in any one clique, because the cliques in high school are rough.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was always like a nomad. I just traveled alone, but just kind of like hitting every little circle, but never close enough where anybody could hurt me, and stayed to myself. When it came to that, I was like a social butterfly that was very like quiet to myself, besides when I had to show off. And that's exactly who I am today. Like, I don't like a lot of people. I'm not like a big people person, but when I go out, I put on a different persona. When I do TV, I do it because it's what I like to do. It makes me feel good. But then I go in my bubble. I'm like, what is that? What's that? Introvert, extrovert, something like that.
Yeah.
And I that's what I like. Like, I like to be by myself. I don't like to have like a big, like support group of people that like, I hang out with them every weekend. I'm not one of those people. I sit at home, I'm with my kid, I'm a loner. If I hang out, I hang out with one person at a time, like I'm not like into that big groupie kind of situation. So I think that's why I do entertainment, because it's the only way to keep myself out there and like force myself to be more personable. And and I have a big personality and I like to show it, but it's like I'm trying to find the right outlets for it sometimes it's complicated. So that's why I feel like I can't stop what I'm doing, because it's who I am, and I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I wasn't doing it.
Exactly. And that's where you found your passion in life, and it's super cool to see. And I feel like you being able to experience all those little groups and extracurricular activities, you pulled a little something from everything, and it created who you are today. And I can relate so much to that, being like turning a switch on when you're in public and then being so different behind closed doors. I am totally that. And I think that a lot of models or entertainers or, people in the public eye have that other personality. It's like a switch, and it's cool to be able to go from one to the other. It's like a good balance, right?
It's a good balance for sure. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about Dining with Divas. How many episodes have you aired so far?
Oh, Dining Divas. I know everyone says Dining with Divas, and I'm like, no, Dining Divas. This is our 8th episode that we're about to air in January.
Cool. And I saw you had Brian Breach on there. I'm a mutual friend on Instagram with Brian. He's super cool. Yeah. How was that?
Oh, great. Oh, he's fun. I mean, we came up with a funny little skit, and that's kind of like where the whole show concept is supposed to be a reality style foodie show. So it's more like a lifestyle show, if anything. And what I wanted to do was make it reality style, so it's entertaining to watch and it's not so commercialized. So we come up with different like funny skits. I have storylines for every segment. So with him, he got verified, and he came in with his little blue check, and he's like, hey, do you guys know if I could get a free meal? Because I'm Instagram verified. And and I'm always like, what? And he's like, yeah, no one will give me a free meal, but I thought like with a blue check, I should be able to get free meals. So we're like, you've never even gotten a free meal before? We're like, sit down with us. So then we're telling him how like, well, we don't have blue checks, so we get free meals all the time. So like, just to kind of make it fun, and like, we like to laugh and just create different funny storylines that make watching the experience fun and entertaining. Right. So he was great. He was a great guest. And we're actually working on a new show together called America's Gone Viral. So we're very excited about that.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. What a great concept. It's so perfect for the two of you together, because you're both in those worlds. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, he came to me and was like, hey, I have a great idea. How can I get this done? I was like, all right, I'll help you. Let's do it,
Oh, that's so awesome. Go-getters for sure. So if somebody out there is watching this right now and they have an idea, they have a passion, and they're just too scared to take that first step, what would you tell them?
I mean, you got to take the first step. Otherwise you can't take the last step. So, it's just, I think the biggest problem why people always want to give up is because it takes sometimes so long to get to where you want to be. But if it was easy, everybody would do it. I mean, everybody knows that saying, right? So, you think about some people get to their goal in 6 months, they get lucky, or they're connected with the right people, or they just happen to run into the right situation. And some people it takes 6 years, so there's really no time stamp. I mean, I know the problem is too, we have bills, and that comes on a monthly basis. So you can't tell your rent, hey, listen, I'm almost there. I just need a couple more months, because you still have to pay the rent. So I think that's where people really give up, is getting the stress of the financial part while they're trying to pursue something that they know can pay off, but it just takes time to get there. It's definitely a struggling thing for all of us, even the people that you think are doing very well are not. So, I mean, everybody has that struggle every month. You know, I have a kid, I'm a single mom. Like, we all have those problems. And like, there's months that are slow and you're like just so stressed out. And you're like, you know, and it's just balancing it, finding like other ways to supplement your income while you continue to press forward on whatever it is that you're trying to pursue.
Absolutely. All about strategizing. I try to play life like a game. Like if I know I need to solve a problem or something, it's like, all right, what tools do I have in my little bag to make this work out? You know, so strategizing is so key.
Life is a game, technically.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Well, that's super awesome. And I am so honored to be able to connect with you. And I feel like social media changed the game for so many people, right? Has social media impacted your efforts at all in making things happen?
So now Instagram is the big one. And now I'm doing the same exact thing with Dining Divas. I go right down the list and I start hitting up all the different restaurants or liquor sponsors. And I'm like, hey, you want to be on a TV show? You know, let's talk. Because obviously when you talk to somebody or you meet them in person, you can close the deal 10 times better than trying to send them a big message. So I just kind of keep it real short and simple. And usually that's how I get my contacts. And then we just kind of set it up from there. But yeah, social media is how I made my money in my 20s and in my 30s. So it's a great thing to be able to connect with so many people. I mean, I connect with celebrities on there and I talk to celebrities. I want to come on my show and stuff. It's wild. You can connect to anybody now. You don't have to have a middleman anymore.
Yes, it's a really exciting time in life, and I feel like more people need to take advantage of that. So if anybody's listening right now and you're not sure how to get your dream rolling or make things happen, I would strongly encourage you to network. So important. Network, whether it's social media, in person, meeting the right people, shaking hands, telling people about what you're passionate about, what you're doing. It just keeps your name in their head. And when they come to a day when they need your services or products or want to see a show like yours, then they'll think of you, you know? So definitely always talk about it. That's important.
Networking is the most important thing. I mean, I remember when I was in college and they said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I didn't understand what that meant until I've been in this business where it is 100% who you know. And I mean, I have like a lot of people who I've known that, you know, I just was waiting for the right situation or the right thing to approach them about because there was nothing on the table for me to approach them about. But now I have the Influential Model Awards, which I'm doing with Jared Knowles. That's going to be a worldwide global reach. And that's really exciting. And now I'm going back to people that I had these contacts and we kept in touch and we've stayed around each other. Now I'm like, hey, listen, I need Mercedes information. I need Ocean Drive's information. People are just coming and just giving me all the contacts I need because we stayed in touch, because you never know when all of a sudden something's going to come up and you can connect the dots with somebody you met from before.
Absolutely. And imagine if you would have given into the pressure or the fear of it not working out, you would have lost all those pieces you were building to make this whole puzzle. You know what I mean? All those contacts you had, all the knowledge, all the experience, it was leading up to this. And if you would have thrown in the towel at one point, then everything would have been for nothing. So the time's going to pass regardless. You might as well continue putting down the blocks to your foundation of success, right?
For sure. Well said.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I'm so glad I got to chat with you today. I'm so proud of you, Christine. From the bottom of my heart, I want you to know that you're an inspiration, and I see so many big things for you in the future, and I'm so thankful to be able to connect with you.
Oh, I appreciate it. You too, honey. I know we need to talk again. Let's call each other sometime this week and chit chat about how we can work together.
Absolutely. I would love that.
All right, honey. Thank you.
And there you have it. Episode 2 of Season 2 of the Passion and Persistence podcast. I am so thankful that Christine took the time to chat with us, and I can only hope that you pulled a little piece of knowledge or fire or inspiration from what Christine had to say and how she used her past experiences to put together her puzzle of where she wanted to be in life. So it's just a reminder to you, whatever you're going through, whatever you've already been through, if there's a problem that you're facing or an obstacle that you need to overcome to get to where you want to be in life, think back to everything you've already experienced, because chances are you have the tools there, the knowledge, the experience to know how to get through this next obstacle. And I will leave you with that. I cannot wait to have you for episode 3, and make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, and check out the Passion and Persistence shop at passionandpersistence.shop. Until next time, go out there and chase your passion persistently.